freedom is not free. What's going on, everybody? Chris Naugle coming in live from the Money School podcast. But today we're going to do a really special episode. We're going to do an episode for the 4th of July. We're going to do an episode called Independence Day. You all remember Independence Day and the 4th of July when you were at school. What was it? It was a day off. When you got into the workforce and you started working, what do you remember the 4th of July as? Many of you, especially federal employees, was a day off. But what is it that we're actually celebrating? What is the 4th of July? It's not just another day in July. It's a really important day. It's Independence Day. So I thought today what I would do is I would talk a little bit about Independence Day. I would talk a little bit about the specifics. Not going to bore you with a whole bunch of numbers, but a lot of people think that Independence Day started in 1941. That's when it became a federal holiday. But Independence Day goes all the way back to the 18th century. And what was it that happened back then? And that's some of the things we're going to go over. But before we do that, I just always remember when I went to school, when I was in homeroom, we would all stand up. We would turn and face the flag. We would put our hand over our chest and we would say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Do you remember doing that? Do you remember saying the pledge? That's how we started every day. Now, I don't know this for a fact, but I don't think they do that in every single school anymore. Matter of fact, I bet the number of schools they do that in are less than the number of schools they don't. So what is happening in this country where we're not doing those same traditions? But yet, if we're not doing the traditions where we honor the flag, and how do we honor the flag? Well, there's a lot of ways. Number one, the flag never touches the ground. How the flag is folded, how the flag is stored, how the flag flies free. The last several houses that I've had, as far back as I can remember, there was always a flag flying, even right up till today. But when I go on my run through my neighborhood, there aren't very many houses with flags. And I'm not saying everybody needs a big flagpole like what I have, but even just the little ones that go on the front. Why is it that so few people celebrate the United States of America and celebrate the freedom we have, the greatest country on earth, the land of opportunity, the land of the free, the land of independence? Have we forgotten what that means? Well, if we have, today and my little note sheet will serve as a little bit of a history lesson. So let's talk about this federal holiday, the 4th of July, Independence Day. What is it? Well, what it is when we decided that we were going to be independent. And that day was July 2nd, 1776. That's right. It goes back to the American Revolution. You probably learned about that in school. But on July 2nd, 1776, the Continental Congress voted in favor of independence. That's what this is. This is independence. It's what we live. Now, a lot of people don't think we have that here in the United States. But you know what? For those people out there that want to burn the flag, that want to kneel, that don't want to say the pledge, that don't want to honor the flag and what it stands for, maybe they should just get on a plane, or better yet, a boat. Let's go back to the time and how people could travel. They would cross the seas, get on a boat and go over to another country, maybe a communist country, maybe a socialist country, and just let us know, like, how was it? Was the grass greener? Do you still think the United States of America is the lesser of the two? I'd have to believe, I won't let myself not believe that the answer would be no. The United States of America is still the land of opportunity. It is still the greatest country in the world. Sure, there are threats. Sure, is it what it was back in the day? No, but it is what we make it. And what we make it is the most important thing. Saluting the flag, flying the flag. Not just on one day, every day. We shouldn't just put the flag on our house. We shouldn't just talk about the flag, hang the flag, dress in, patriotic clothing one day a year for the 4th of July, the federal holiday, and celebrate that we got the day off. We should actually remember how much has been given. How many young men and women, how many of our military men, women, and our vets, how much have they given to protect the freedom that we enjoy every single day in this country? Your real estate business lives and dies by the network and the connections that you make. I mean, after all, your network, well, it's your net worth. That's what you always heard, right? If that's an area where you desire improvement, well, Private Money Club, it's for you. PMC saves you precious time and money by bringing the real estate world, well, right to you, right in the palm of your hand. So get in on the action like so many others have by going to privatemoneyclub.com and sign up. So going back to this, once the Continental Congress voted in favor of independence, 2 days later, delegates from the 13 colonies adopted what is called the Declaration of Independence, which really was drafted by Thomas Jefferson. Matter of fact, many people don't know this, but Thomas Jefferson drafted almost the entire thing. He locked himself in isolation for 17 days writing the Declaration of Independence. Maybe you should read it. Heck, maybe I should read it again. But 4th of July celebrated America's independence. And how do we celebrate that? Well, let's think about it. Festivities, day off, fireworks. We all know the fireworks. That's how we celebrate it. And if you watch documentaries about it, you'll understand why fireworks are blown up, why we're supposed to see that and hear that. You see, when it was actually happening, it wasn't so much a celebration. It was almost a life or death scenario. And I say this all the time. When I'm thanking a vet at the airport, when you just go up and you tap them on the back or just say, thank you for your service, such a small little thing to do, such a small little thing for such a monumental sacrifice that our military men and women give up. The sacrifice to protect our freedom. So here's another unique thing about the 4th of July. A salute of one gun for each state in the United States. It's called the Salute to the Union. And Jason here in my office, he's served this country many times over. And he wrote this. He said, a salute of one gun for each state in the United States. They call it the Salute to the Union. It's fired on Independence Day at noon by any capable military base. I didn't know that, and maybe you didn't either. New York City has the largest firework display. They literally discharge more than 22 tons of pyrotechnics. Pretty unbelievable. But when we watch those pretty colors and those things shoot up in the sky, and now they actually make shapes in the sky, but while we watch that in awe, we should remember what that means. Independence, freedom isn't free at all. And it never will be. And I think we all need to remember that. And here's another thing I'm going to read to you because I thought this was interesting. It reads like this. The second day of July, 1776, will be the most memorable epoch in the history of America. I am apt to believe that it will be celebrated by succeeding generations as the great anniversary festival. It ought to be commemorated as the Day of Divergence by solemn acts of devotion to God Almighty. It ought to be solemnized with pomp and parade, with shows and games and sports and guns and bells and bonfires and illuminations, fireworks, from one end of the continent to the other, from this time forward, forevermore. A lot of meaning in that. Back then, when this document was signed, declaring our independence. Sure, they were celebrating then. It's a big day. And they made that statement right there, that this day will forever be celebrated. I think it's really important that we listen to that and we hear that, and we never let that die. We never, ever forget the freedom we have. And I think it's really important that in wrapping up this podcast episode about Independence Day, I think it's also important that when you see somebody disrespecting the flag, burning the flag, what should we say to them? How should we handle that? Well, there's lots of YouTube videos that show different ways to do it. But I think the best way we should handle that is that person should be sent to another country where freedom isn't what we have. They should be sent to another country where they are not free, so that they understand what they had here. In light of Independence Day, in light of the 4th of July, I want to wish all of you the very best. I want to wish all of you a beautiful day. I want to wish all of you the freedoms that we all have. And I hope you all remember on this glorious day some of the facts that we went over in this podcast. And I hope you all remember what I said at the beginning of this podcast, and that is freedom is not free. With that being said, thanks for joining me for this special 4th of July episode. See you in the next one.